I just did. I got busy. It's summer, yo. Gotta run. What the fuck does summer have to do with anything? I don't know. Anyway, okay, so. Yeah, right. Dream on. You don't like the correct. You don't like that we correct your lies. Period. You don't provide an example of those lies. Preaching, not here. Not what my channel is about. I said people in general, not you. Did you preach? I don't even know. I can't remember. But I'll get to that in a minute here. I get asked specific questions that they say that I didn't answer it. Did you? I don't know. Okay, well, let's go over what I said here. I got 3 likes, so if somebody approves of what I'm doing. I'm not saying I'm not. Well, why would I be so proud of three thumbs up? Actually, all of you answer questions we didn't ask you, or you resort to preaching. I'm just criticizing people in general. Maybe you didn't. I don't know, but we just crossed paths, so it's too early to tell. This is all because you know this religion is both bad and shit. Okay, so I made this criticism, and this is your first reply. Yeah, right, Dream On. You don't like that we correct your lies. Your wet dreams are fine. A very juvenile remark. But you don't address my criticism that you guys know that this religion is both bad and it's shit. Bullshit, really. You can say we don't like your answer all you want. In actuality, we don't, because the answer is not to the question we asked. So what do you say? Well, I already gave you examples of the games you guys play, and my replies to those. You don't address any of that. What do you say instead? We don't like that you correct our lies. But again, you don't provide even one example of the lies you're referring to. Preaching. Yeah, a lot of you do preach. Maybe you didn't. Again, I don't know. But anyway, correct about what? Yeah. Yeah, gas. Yeah. Right. Well, I mean, why do you approve of? Well, yeah, these would be my questions, but those are really just examples. Those are just my replies to those. I don't think Gas really understood that, but anyway, that doesn't really matter. Why do I approve of God? Now, is this to me or him? Why do I approve of God? I have experienced him, been healed. You still didn't respond to my criticism of religion being both bad and shit. You're afraid of that. You know I'm right, like I say. And you want to talk to me about correcting our lies? Whatever lies you're referring to? When did I lie? Or when did any atheist lie? What? I have experienced him, been healed. Well, should I even bother? Well, this is just an anecdote. I mean, to experience him means nothing. I mean, what good is this to us? And you want to talk about lies? Now, I'm sure you've experienced something. I'm not going to say that you're lying here, but the problem is you're expecting us to disbelieve you. Based on what? You experienced something we didn't. And how does that make religion good? How does that make it, you can say God is real and Christianity is true as much as you want. That does neither mean religion is good or, it's worthy of agreeing with. Worship, whatever. Doesn't mean you should be living by this religion. And how is this any reason to approve of God? Because you experienced him? Been healed from what? Something that God caused? Would we require healing if God was a responsible creator. He changed my life from cursing, drugs, addiction to... Since when was God concerned with personal problems? And how is cursing, quote unquote, bad? I mean, those are just words. God's only concern is people believing and having faith in Him and worshiping Him. What does that have to do with drugs or addictions? This is just nothing. Personal appeals to God. Nothing. Anecdotes. I mean, even if He did relieve you on cursing, drugs, or addictions, why does that involve submission, surrender, devotion, worship, praise, and a consequence for not? Now you see the problem here. Even when you do answer, you're just opening yourself you're just making yourself vulnerable to more questioning. That's how my method works. Because nothing you can say is right when it comes to religion or God. He proved Himself real to me. What am I supposed to do with that? Okay, well, I did ask you why you approve of God, but you're still not answering here. How is His revelation to you a valid reason to approve of Him? And how you can say this, but the reality is He made you vulnerable. So making you vulnerable to drugs and addictions and cursing, however that's a problem, is a reason to approve of Him? Making you vulnerable to those things? You don't blame God for anything. You just approve of everything. Well, you guys would say that, oh, it's our fault, not God's. And what you don't realize there is you're cutting God out of the equation. So God has nothing to do with that. I could say that God is the one at fault, but you would respond with, oh, no, it's our fault. And you unintentionally and unknowingly cut God out of the existential equation. So you're wrong about that too. I am not sure what you are getting at in the next question, but I assume you referred to atheism, but in reality, how is atheism... Well, okay. What did I say there? Okay, what word defines disbelief and is not a religion? You didn't answer that question. You're telling me that atheism is a belief. How is that answering my question? You believe that science... atheism has nothing to do with science. Atheism has everything to do with skepticism. Of course, you'll ignore that reality, or that fact. I asked you what term defines disbelief. And then you tell me atheism... Never mind the fact that this is bullshit, because obviously you don't even know what atheism is, or you're just being disingenuous here. Because by definition, atheism is disbelief. That's the definition of it. It can't be a belief. You believe that science disproves God. No, I do not. That's a straw man. But again, you won't hear that. Okay, well, you say that personal experience... Never mind. You know what? I don't even care if God does exist. I don't care if religion is true, or Christianity, or Islam for that matter, are true, or is true. I don't care. It doesn't mean God... That's not a valid reason to approve of God. You still don't seem to understand either of them. I'm taking the psychological route. My angle is psychology. Why you approve and why you agree, or why you want. Everything in life is good or bad, righteousness or what? Based on what are you talking about? You have free will. No, we don't have free will. Not if inherent sin is the reality of, or according to Christianity. If we're all born with original sin, we don't have free will because we're born under the devil's agency, not God's, or not our own. You know, it's either Satan or God. But if you guys do choose God, despite being under the devil's knee or whatever, with the devil on your neck, devil's foot on your neck. Turning to God only makes him another evil because you're under the influence of evil, making you evil. So, you know, you can't have it. You can't have that. And if we do have free will, well, what? No, I mean, free will would suggest that we are ourself. We're under our own influence. We're our own agency, but we don't have that if we're born with original sin. We as Christians believe that God is righteous. I don't care what you believe. Did I ever ask you what you believe? Obviously you believe this and that. But you're just, what is this? I didn't ask you anything about your stupid beliefs. Blah, 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 blah. That's all that this paragraph is. Anyway, what else is here? Refute it then instead of insulting him into atheism. Yeah, that's all you've done. Absolute garbage from your mouth. The entire plight of atheism is God cannot be real. That's just a straw man. Atheism is not the position that God cannot be real based on the lies. Again, you posted this before, but it's because you said it here once already. You still don't provide an example of those lies. You're lying. Unless you really don't know what atheism is. Define atheism. You are a joke. Really. Because all I'm seeing from you is immaturity and arrogance and disingenuousness. And just fallacies. You're appealing to yourself. And you're just picking on atheism. Is it that big of a threat to you? Really? I mean, Christianity is about being saved by an almighty God. But yet atheism, there's just this fucking obstacle, this barrier. Oh, sorry, I cursed. I guess I'm not allowed to do that because, well, whatever. Yeah, I think I've picked on this enough.